I'm going from one damn good guest to another. The man himself, Ted Rall. How you doing, Ted? You doing all right?
I'm good. How are you doing, Jamal?
I am doing fine. I'm sorry about the link. I thought I sent it. Sometimes I overlook sending the thing that is the most necessary in the process.
Well,
But
I
no, man,
overlooked that you didn't send it. I was like, oh,
yeah, that was my bad. I'm sorry. But thank you for the reminder. I try to pay attention to the phone or my text or whatever when people are supposed to come on. But Ted Rall, political cartoonist, syndicated columnist. Ted Rall has multiple shows. He has TMI with the one and only Manila Chan. He also has Deep Program with John Kiriakou. There is another show that he has on Thursdays with another cartoonist. What is the name of that show, Ted?
It's called the DMZ America Podcast, like Demilitarized Zone with Scott Stantis.
America Podcast. Okay, I'm going to put that in my list. Ted, I brought you on because I have been fascinated by what has been taking place. Donald Trump has gone to war against MAGA. Again, he has been attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene relentlessly. He has been attacking Massey. He has been attacking Tucker Carlson. And, you get Nick Fuentes, who I'm not really a fan of, but I do give him credit for his capability of there are some people who I may not like anything that they say, but I can acknowledge that they're good at doing it.
Sure.
Alex Jones is one of them. I've seen Alex Jones go 30 minutes on Syria, and I was shocked. Like how I was like, wow, he's good. He's a lunatic, but he's good.
Right.
Fuentes is one of those people where it's like, God, man, he's racist, sexist, incel, all that stuff. And yet, when he does a rant, he's actually pretty good at it. He's making a point here that MAGA is effectively dead. And I can't agree with him more. Listen to this.
This is now the dichotomy. You have MAGA on the one side. And what does this even stand for anymore? You got MAGA on one side. What does that even mean? Make America great for who? Make it great for Israel, Indian immigrants, Chinese students, illegal immigrant farm workers. Make America great again for them. Make Israel great. Make America great for the global empire, defense contractors, big pharma, Wall Street, Silicon Valley, Palantir. You got MAGA on the one side, and like I said, Brandy Fine, Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz. And then on the other side, you got America first. No ambiguity, no ifs, ands, or buts. What does that mean? America first, Americans first, America only. America first is our credo. Americanism, not globalism, is the credo. Tucker, Fuentes, Candace, Marjorie, Thomas Massey, Dan Bilzerian, Myron, Jake Shields, Lucas Gage, all the greats, all the usual suspects. That's the question. Aiden Ross, Sneeko. Yay. This is a dichotomy. What are you for? Are you with America first or are you with MAGA? I think after this month, after this year, 2025 is the year that MAGA died.
2025 is the year MAGA died. And mind you, all of the people he named have been people that Donald Trump has effectively been attacking. And it's the reason he's been attacking him that is the most mind-blowing part. Marjorie Taylor Greene comes out and says, we need to, go after people who are working with this pedophile. And these names need to be listed. And Trump is like, how dare you? It's like, whoa, you're throwing your body to protect a pedophile. Or you're throwing your body to protect Israel. And you get the people who voted for Trump, who advocated for Trump, who effectively was like, hey, we took this America First thing seriously. And Trump doesn't seem to think that way. And up to this point, he's been going after those people. I've been fascinated by this dynamic and the degree that he's been like throwing these withering arguments at these MAGA, for lack of a better word. Give me a take on this. Did you see this coming? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I did see it coming. And I remember thinking that long after I saw it coming, that the $20 billion to Argentina may have been the last straw for the nationalist base of the MAGA movement. It was kind of inevitable. What Donald Trump is playing the role of Chrissie Hynde here. Chrissie Hynde, at a certain point, argued The Pretenders isn't a band. I'm the Pretenders. Who the Pretenders is whoever I bring on. Donald Trump's been arguing that about MAGA. He's like,
Yeah.
I created MAGA. MAGA is my invention. I trademarked the hat. I trademarked the name. So MAGA is whatever I say it is. And I'm just going to go off on a loop here. But let's say, he says, well, from now on, we give half of our tax money to Israel. That's MAGA, because I say whatever I say is MAGA is MAGA. I think the jury is out as to how powerful that argument is. It wouldn't be powerful to me, but I'm not, part of that orientation. I think it'll work with some people, but certainly not with everybody. And I think this is the beginning of a major fracture in the current Republican coalition. I think what Donald Trump is either willfully or unintentionally ahistorical. He doesn't understand that really, MAGA is not new. I mean, in fact, I have, political buttons from 1916 that show Woodrow Wilson running under the campaign, Make America Great Again. I have political buttons from, 1980 from Ronald Reagan that say, Make America Great Again. This is not a new orientation at all. And, nationalism is not a new ideology in the United States, and nor is far-right nationalism, which you can trace to the Tea Party, which Donald Trump remembers very well, and that he comes out of that, right, directly from 2010. And then you can go back to things like the John Birch Society of the 1960s and back, and the movement that coalesced around General Douglas MacArthur after World War II. I mean, it just goes back and back. So this what Donald Trump did was surf a wave, and he's basically pretending like he invented the ocean. That's fine. And, he's a master manipulator, which we're seeing right now we have nothing to hide. Let's all vote, just release the Epstein file, just like the pivot. It's actually brilliant because he was handed a pair of twos. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to play this pair of twos for everything that it's worth, because he was about to lose, this 218 vote that Thomas Massie had going on. I mean, defeat was absolutely guaranteed. So he's like, okay, I'm going to make the most of this. He accepts reality, as opposed to, say, a Kamala Harris who sees defeat coming 2 months ahead of time and doesn't pivot, doesn't change course, doesn't do anything, and then goes and loses. So good for him. But it is. I'm going to take a little bit of issue with Nick Fuentes when he says that America First is unambiguous. I mean, no, it's not unambiguous. Like, what does that mean? One can argue that, giving money to Argentina is America First. I wouldn't argue this, but because it's to our benefit to have, strong allies and trading partners, and Argentina is one of those, and blah, blah, blah. I don't believe any of that. But the point is, it's not unambiguous, right? I mean, what to you and me, and maybe Nick Fuentes is obviously America First, is certainly something that people like Trump can spin. And, I think that the ace in the hole for Donald Trump is kind of analogous to what those of us on the left have seen now for years, which is, okay, there's only two parties. So if you're a disgruntled conservative who is a nationalist and doesn't appreciate the fact that, Trump isn't, prioritizing things, the fact that, say, Americans 1 out of 8 Americans don't have enough to eat, so they're on food stamps. It's like, if he doesn't do that, where are you going to go? Well, they're culturally and politically and ideologically not, open to voting for the Democratic Party. And so they're stuck. So I wrote my column over the weekend for this week, and basically my argument was that in an age of polarization, a political party like the Republican Party doesn't run against the other party. You're not going to lose. There are no swing voters. There's no people who are like, well, sometimes I'm a Democrat, sometimes I'm a Republican. Those people don't exist anymore. So you don't run against the other party. You run against apathy. That's what your opponent. That's your enemy. as a, when you're running one of two major political parties in a highly polarized environment. And so, I wrote my column about the Democrats, but the same thing applies to the Republicans. Donald Trump and the Republicans' enemy isn't the Democrats. Their threat is people sitting at home, the way that the Bernie voters did in 2016. And so, like, that's what I think. I'm not sure they're focused on that yet. Maybe because we're still in a pre-midterm electoral environment, but they're going to have to start thinking about that, and soon.
But they're both parties are ideologically against thinking about that in real terms. I mean, like, for example, he's making the argument about the America First thing. I got to be honest. I think it's less ambiguous, to be honest. Like, if H-1B1 visas, for example, okay, most of those are entry-level jobs. Should we give those to Americans, or should we side with corporations, screw over Americans in order to bring in indentured servants? Okay, well, that's not ambiguous, right? You could spin it, but at a certain point, your spinning is just being dishonest.
As we see and speaking of which, right, the revelation that the Trump organization has hired over 600 H-2A visa, holders.
Of course.
I mean, it's like so insanely hypocritical. It's very instructive to me that, neither Trump nor, anyone sitting around the table there, like Don Jr., says, we can't do this. It's going to look bad when the news breaks. Like, nobody says that because they don't really think it matters.
I don't think they care. I've gotten to the point where I don't think they care. I think both political parties have realized a truth. And the truth is, we're in a two-party system. We don't have this belief that third parties are going to break into it. And so worst come to worst, you're either going to pick a Republican or you're going to pick a Democrat, or, as you point out, apathy. But in the context of apathy, you don't get what you want in either party. And so it's like,
that's the thing, though, is like, so like Democrats are trying to spin their surrender and the shutdown confrontation as like, well, we raised the issue. We'll get credit for raising the issue. It's like, no, because what's going to happen is that voters will continue. This will be another reminder to voters that it doesn't matter much to their life whether a Democrat or a Republican is in charge. And like, a Democrat might talk about healthcare, but you're not going to get those healthcare subsidies either way, right? So that's and that feeds into the apathy. So I think that is dangerous for each of the parties individually. And the winner is the one who motivates their base, right? I mean, that was Trump's genius, is that he motivated. I mean, think about it. Mitt Romney couldn't do it. John McCain couldn't do it, but but last time a Republican could do it was George W. Bush. That's a long time ago. That's 21 years. Trump can do it, but I think that there will be, and Trump's big contribution electorally was to bring in a lot of brand new Republicans who had never registered to vote before, didn't vote. These were non-voters. He brought some of the 50% of people who are eligible to vote but didn't vote, and he made them vote, and he made them vote enthusiastically. That's what's at stake here, is that part of the coalition, the new voters, the people who will vote happily for a Trump that they think is going to do stuff that they like, mostly, or they just won't vote. And that's the enemy for the Republicans. And I don't know, maybe Donald Trump, pushing 80 years old, doesn't really much care about anything but making money anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's a race to the bottom for both political parties. I agree with you. Who could turn out their base the most? Nick is complaining, but he's probably still going to vote for random Republican that shows up next time.
He's not going to vote libertarian, or whatever.
Yeah. So it's like, you're still going to get the vote. It's like, it's just complaining, like spitting in the wind. Well, and yet there's no out. The door, like, it's almost like there's a locked door, which is very aggravating, because there doesn't seem to be a position to maneuver. Both political parties have just kind of accepted, even if they don't vote for me this time, they will get sick of the other party and come back. And so you get sloshing back and forth without any change ever being made in the political system, because both political parties just accept We don't
They're
have to do
they're
squats.
flailing. We're flailing. That's
Yes.
the problem with the two-party system is all you can do is really flail between, which one party that you hate less right now and the party that you will hate less in the future. I mean, a two-party system sucks.
Yes. I mean, this seems like it will be damaging for Trump, though. All of the emails that have just came out for Epstein, what the public have seen. I was watching the polling on CNN, 37%. He was underwater 37% on the Epstein issue. He was like 18% underwater under, let's say, like economy, or for that matter, tariffs. He was like 7% underwater for foreign policy, meaning Trump was underwater on all of the things that got him elected. Bills have gone up. The amount that people are paying for energy have gone up. And recently, Trump came out and said, this, like, for one, we're paying those tariffs. There's that, right? And him pulling back on the tariffs gets across. Oh, right, costs for Americans have gone up. I need to do something about the fact that costs for Americans have gone up. So, let me back off on some of the tariffs. Then he came back and said this, which we are already paying more money for energy as a result of Trump going after Russia. Listen to this. Listen to this. 500% tariffs that Congress apparently is supposed to be dredging up, that Trump is talking about unleashing on America.
Well, I hear they're doing that, and that's okay with me. They're passing legislation, or the Republicans are putting in legislation that very tough. It's sanctioning, et cetera, on any country doing business with Russia. They may add Iran to that, as you know. I suggested it. So any country that does business with Russia will be very severely sanctioned. We may add Iran to the formula, yeah.
That's so incompetent. Like, that's deeply incompetent. A, you're going to drive up prices for Americans, especially for the issue of energy. B, the last time that Donald Trump, every time he throws something like that out, he eventually has to back away from it. If you remember, there was a 500% tariffs. There was the Tomahawk missiles. Now he's back to the tariff thing, meaning Trump has no way to figure out how to end the war. He doesn't want to accept the surrender under Russian terms. And so now he's pivoted back to whatever this is. He is failing under his own model as a president. Or do you think I'm wrong on this?
No, I mean, I think it's just I think part of this bug is a feature with Donald Trump. I mean, he loves to be, to threaten, and then he feels like, if I yell and scream, I will be able to get get these people to come to the table, and I'll be in a better negotiating position. That's as you and I both know, not always true. I mean, I was recently in a similar battle with my landlord, who was basically bullying me thuggishly, and it just pissed me off more and made me more intransigent. Right? It's like, and I think certainly that's not going to work with a Vladimir Putin, or with the Iranians who've been dealing with American assholes since the 1970s, arguably long before that.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like you're just the latest in a string of assholes we've had to deal with. So I mean, generally I agree with you that, look, the metric here has to be for Donald Trump that basically Republican voters and plus the new coalition, and basically, to make this simple, a lot of white guys have to feel really like the country is moving back in some kind of direction that they like, where you're not going to have to think about what someone's pronoun is. You might be able to get it. There might be a new factory opening up somewhere near you. You're not going to feel like you're competing with foreigners for jobs, or your kids are not going to be competing, and you're not going to feel like when you go to McDonald's, it's going to cost like $23 for one person. That's the problem for Donald Trump, is that none of those things is true, and there's no future in which it's true because of the nature of the system, as well as these policies that this man has instituted. The tragedy here is that Donald Trump has it all. I mean, he has the Supreme Court, the Congress, the White House, a lot of the state houses. He has incredible power, and he's choosing, ironically, not to use it. and he's not even, legislating. So his achievements you can basically, some Democrat can come along in 2029 and just, President Newsom or whoever, and just go, and all those executive orders just go away, and they will. And so there's no, because Trump is so ahistorical. He's interested in legacy, right? We see that he's interested in legacy with, I want to build a triumphal arch, stuff like that. He wants to leave behind, he's bigifying the ballroom at the White House. He cares about, what people are going to think of him, or he wants to be remembered after he croaks. But the problem is, presidents are not really remembered for some stupid building. They're remembered for, a set of policies that changed America, like say the New Deal. And Donald Trump so far hasn't managed to do that. I mean, right now, is this a different country in terms of foreign policy? Not really. I mean, we are doing, gunboat diplomacy out of the 19th century with Venezuela, pushing and drone killing fishermen like George W. Bush. Now we do it on the water instead of in the desert. Ooh. It's all pretty much the same. And as usual, Washington is focused on bullshit and not the problems of the American people. So, he hasn't changed the equation because neither he nor the people he has surrounded himself with have any kind of sense of how that would look. I could think of, for example, a grand bargain on healthcare is something that Trump could pull off. It's needed. Democrats are open to it. He could rally his troops. He could have a only Nixon can go to China moment with healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
He could do that. I was the Republican president who created national healthcare, and every time someone goes to the doctor, God bless Donald Trump. He could do that, but whether
believe in those things,
the strings pulling him or just lack of imagination, I don't know what, because I'm not there, but something is stopping him.
I don't think he believes in those things. I don't even think he cares. Like, for example, one of the things that he did was, there was a law that was in place that says if you're stuck on an airplane for a certain amount of time, you get a kickback. He got rid of that. Yeah. And it's that's so petty. Some of the stuff just seems
airlines, obviously.
I know, but it's so petty.
Parties, as we just saw with the shutdown, the airlines are why the Democrats caved in on the shutdown. Like that guy from that CEO of Airlines for America, the lobbying group, the guy that we see all the time on CNN, that dude called up, he called up Schumer and, the 8 traitors like Tim Kaine, and basically just said, hey, we're worried. Thanksgiving is coming. We have 3,000 cancellations a day. We're losing money. Fix it. They pass a clean CR. That's their thing. The airlines run the country.
It's
absurd.
If you are, that's so aggravating. Yes. Well,
airlines honestly, airlines are like the post office. It's an essential service. Most real countries have a national airline.
Yeah. Agreed. Honestly, if it was up to me, energy grid, transportation, airline,
essential services should be nationalized.
Agreed.
That's just like a basic thing. If you have to have it, healthcare, education, these things, there's no, you just have to have them. Doesn't matter if they're too expensive. Doesn't matter if they don't turn a profit. You need it.
Are we looking at Trump effectively destroying the Republican Party for the next term? It seems like the midterms, they're going to get crushed.
Unless the Democrats snatch victory from the jaws of defeat the way that they did with the shutdown. Don't put that past them.
No, I won't. I won't.
That was amazing, really. Definitely he's harming the Republican Party. And look, this is I suspect you, like me, have read a lot of books about the decline and fall of, empires and stuff. And
yes.
And the thing is, this is that trend. So right now it is a race to the bottom. We're, both parties and the country and the system are circling the drain. And the question is, which of these two parties is going to circle faster? Certainly, Donald Trump is harming the Democratic Party. can the Democrats take advantage of it? They're also very fucked up. And we could have had this conversation
Agreed.
just as easily about the schism within the Democratic Party.
No, agreed. I mean, you can see it with Mandani,
Totally.
the way he effectively ran against the Democrats.
And by the way, Al, he's preparing to look very, very disappointing. I'm already getting nervous.
Already, he's not even.
Yeah,
he's not even in
yeah.
office.
He's talking too corporate. For my.
What do you
taste.
mean? What did he do already?
Well, he said he would, but he's going to keep he's keeping the police commissioner. He's doing all sorts of, he's basically making all sorts of news, like meeting with corporate heads and stuff like that. I'm like, I get it, but it worries me because he's sounding like everybody else. It's like AOC went to vote for Mama Bear. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like they're all the same. You can't be a truly independent ass kicker within an organization. Ask Marjorie Taylor Greene; she'll tell you.
well, you know where your other mayor is currently. I don't know if you've seen this. He's
Oh God, I saw.
Back here to my male team.
That's a damn shame. And he's even wearing, what is it, yarmulke?
Last I
He's even wearing that thing on his head.
It's embarrassing.
And
Like, why are you in Israel, dude? You're the mayor of New York. Like, you don't do anything about foreign policy. Why are you in Israel?
Fuck if I know. I mean, I kind of know. If I were him, I'd be out job hunting because that's like job one.
Right.
City college, government class would probably be about the right place for him. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. I would take that job myself. It's just, but it's just sort of, I don't know. I mean, he hits all the wrong notes. I mean, the guy's like literally he couldn't even. He's the incumbent mayor, and he couldn't run in his own primary because he knew he was going to have the floor wiped with him. It's like, what the fuck are you doing in Israel? And these are your last 6 weeks in office as mayor. Why don't you go to Israel next spring? You got nothing to do. You're on December 31st at midnight. You're no longer the mayor of the city of New York. There's some storms coming. Be around. We have lots of flooding. It's weird.
I mean, you would think, and I'll let you go after this, but you would think that after Mamdani's win, where they ask him, hey, where are you going? He's like, I'm staying in New York.
Yeah.
I'm a mayor of New York. And he wins in spades, that they would be like, hey, maybe I don't need to take this trip.
I don't know what's up with Eric Adams. I mean, he was once, like when he was in 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement, he was a pretty good dude. And,
Was he?
Kind of, and then he like decided to politicize his career. And once he left the NYPD, it was all downhill. I think he made a bunch of too many deals with the devil, and that's it.
Yeah. Ted, man, always appreciate you. Thank you for this. Ted is going to be on Deprogrammed. That's going to take place at what time is it? 9 o'clock.
Minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes. Also on TMI with Manila Chan. That's going to take place at 10 o'clock. So
Yep.
back to back. Ted, you're fantastic, man. Thank you for
Thanks,
this.
Ramal. You are too. See you soon.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right. The one, the only Ted Rall, political cartoonist, syndicated columnist. Ted is a damn good friend of this show, and I thank him for